Khalid ibn Waleed is the warrior's warrior. In human history, there have only been two people who fit into his category, him, and another guy named Thutmose III. In the West, we talk about Robert E. Lee or Erwin Rommel, when we talk about Alexander the Great or Julius Caesar. And it's true that all four of those guys were really amazing generals and really amazing at, getting into a bad battle situation and pulling it off. Khalid ibn Waleed and Thutmose III were never defeated. All the guys I just mentioned were defeated at one point. Alexander the Great wasn't, but Alexander the Great didn't have the kind of wins that these guys had. Khalid ibn Waleed is the kind of general who leads from the front. The first battle against the Persians, he pulls up his army. The Persians line up their army, and the first thing this is the way Arabs like to fight. The first thing they would do is they would pick a champion, and he would go out in between the two armies, so he was close enough to the enemy army, and he would shout impromptu poetry. And the belief was that if your poetry was good enough, the other side should surrender. They should quit the battle. You could win the battle with poetry. And the Persians, of course, didn't have that as part of their culture, so they don't send the guy back. But that's the first thing that happens, is the guy goes over and shouts poetry, impromptu poetry at the Persians. And they're like, what the hell is this? Let's just get this fight on the way going. But what the Persians did have was a similar tradition the Arabs did, having a champion go fight. And Khalid ibn Waleed decides he's his own champion, and the Persian general goes, well, I got to go if he's going, right? He's got to be general against general. And so the two men meet in the middle of the battlefield, and they fight. And the thinking is, if that fight is heroic enough between the champions, you should just call it. The other side should. So there's a way to avoid battle, either through poetry or a good champion fight. And when Khalid kills the Persian general, they go ahead and have the battle anyway, and the Persians are wiped out. Khalid invaded with 15,000 men, and he wipes out somewhere around 20,000 Persian soldiers with maybe just a few tens of casualties. It's an unbelievable battle because the Persians not only outnumber him, but they're better equipped. They have more armor, more technology. He goes and fights another battle. Same kind of odds, 15,000 to 20,000, beats the Persians again. Goes and fights another battle. And he keeps doing this, and he keeps beating them time after time. The Persian Empire can't figure out what's going on. In one battle, the Persians decide they're going to set up an ambush for him. They actually buried men in the desert where they knew the battle was going to take place. They buried men in the desert, and they just laid still. And when Khalid came out to fight his champion, the men in the desert popped up, and they attacked. And he ended up fighting, I think it was like 15 men. So it was just him against 15 men. And one of his soldiers, who was next to him when this happens, goes, "This isn't fair." And so he runs and joins Khalid, and the two men together kill the 15 men. They wipe them out. The whole rest of the Arab army is like, okay, now it's fair. I don't know why didn't 13 men go join them? But anyway, they don't. And Khalid prevails.